In the preceding recap of Hidden Love, Joshu expresses his feelings for Sang-ji by presenting her with a gift, intending to convey his romantic interest. However, Sang-ji misinterprets this gesture as a symbol of profound friendship. The following day, they coincidentally reunite at the airport, embarking on their journey to Yi to begin their shared everyday life. Within the waiting area, Joshu encounters an old college friend, and as they engage in conversation, his friends inquire about Joshu's past romantic relationships, triggering a strong sense of jealousy in Sang-ji. Joshu immediately denies it, and Sang-ji pretends to be casual. When she asked about it, she finally knew that Xiaoyang was the woman who splashed Joshu at the cafe. However, Joshu explains that if he had a girlfriend, he would introduce her to Sang-ji. The first he heard those words, Sang-ji was shocked and realized that Joshu never forgot his promise. Then, Sang-ji asked about the woman Joshu had brought to the airport at that time. Then Joshu smiled when he saw Sang-ji looking jealous and shy. He was increasingly convinced that the girl really liked him. Feeling confident, Joshu decides to go after Sang-ji first. She accepts all advice from his friends about how to win a woman's heart. The first step he had to take was to bring Sang-ji together with Yin, the woman he had taken to the airport. And after they met, Sang-ji found out that Joshu had never dated and saw Yin was nothing more than a workmate. Apparently, Joshu asked Yin for help to explain everything to Sang-ji so that she would misunderstand. After that, Joshu took Sang-ji to the cinema. However, the first date didn't go smoothly when Sang-ji accidentally drank a drink containing milk and caused her allergy to flare up. Joshu immediately changed her drink, and for the rest of the day, Sang-ji had a rash that required her to be taken to the hospital. After giving medicine to Joshu remembers that he once gave her milk. Sang-ji lies. She said that she gave the milk to her friend in the dorm. Everyone waits for updates from Sang-ji about her first date. The date didn't go smoothly, but Sang-ji was happy because Joshu seemed to like her. Anyway, Sang-ji's friends are happy. They have been following Sang-ji's love story. So after this, they try to guide Sang-shi in matters of love. On her birthday, Sang-ji dresses up beautifully to meet Joshu. They go to spend time together on the bus. Joshu always looks after Sang-ji and offers Sang-ji to hold his hand so that she doesn't fall. They go to the cinema to watch a film they failed to watch last time. Joshu shows all kinds of attention to Sang-ji, and it makes her very happy. Sang-ji is surprised when Joshu invites her to his house. She still remembered Joshu's words not to come to see him at the office or his home. Then Joshu quickly explained that he just didn't want Sang-ji to run into Xiaoyang who might hurt her. And because of that, he asked Sang-ji to let him know if she wanted to see him. Sang-ji understands, and she accepts Jia Zai's invitation to come to his house. It turns out Jia Su has prepared a birthday surprise on the roof of his house, as well as a birthday cake specially prepared for Sang-jae. That night, Sang-ju was very happy because it was her first birthday with Jia Su. She had hoped to celebrate it again in the future together with Jia Su. On the other hand, Jiao Su prepares a gift for Sang-ji and asks her to open it. After coming home, Joshu realizes that Sang-ji is liked by many people, so he asks how to win her heart. Sang-ji explains that the person must be handsome, kind, taller than her, and have the same views. Juik-su then asked if he could chase Sang-jae. Hearing the question, Sang-ji was nervous and wondered whether Joshu meant what he said. But Joshu looked serious and he didn't want to just be a brother too. Joshu also explains that he asked for permission like this so that Sang-ji wouldn't be confused by all the good attitudes he would show. Sang-ji is doubtful, and she just says that Jiao Su can chase her. Sang-ji blushed even more when Joshu complimented her and said that Sang-ji looked beautiful. Today, the situation was really nice until finally Sang-ji came home, bringing Joshu's cake to her dormitory. And apparently her friends have prepared a surprise for her birthday. Sang-ji gets a small camera as a gift from Joshu, and she really likes it. That night, Sang-ji tells her brother that she might be dating someone. Sang-yan, who was busy managing the bar, only warned Sang-ji, be careful. But after hearing that his younger sister was dating someone older, he couldn't calm down and immediately advise her. Sang-ji accepts her friend's suggestion to test Ju-su by not immediately accepting his invitation to date. If Joshu continues to look for ways to meet her, then Sang-ji will accept his invitation. But Ju-shu's busy life seemed to be the main reason they rarely saw each other. Through this incident, Sang-ji begins to doubt Joshu's feelings, until one day, Jia-su again had to cancel his date with Sang-jae. This time, it wasn't because of work, but Joshu had to go to the hospital to see the condition of his father, who was in a coma due to an accident several years ago. The scene shows a flashback that night. After accidentally bumping into Xiaoyang's father, Instead of taking responsibility, Zhaoshu's father chose to run away. His family asked him to turn himself into the police, but he didn't want to listen and went jumping into a fairly high window. Zhaoshu's life was destroyed instantly. His helpless father was in a coma in the hospital, and his mother was forced to continue working day and night to earn a living. And Zhaoshu's youth was spent studying while working. His suffering continued when his mother fell ill and eventually died. After visiting his father, Zhaoshu returned home with a tired face. Even though he really wanted to rest, he chose to go to Sangji's dormitory and thought that was his only chance to meet Jae. Zhaoshu often misses appointments, but Sangji is mature enough to understand and tolerate it as a form of support. When they meet, Sangji buys cotton candy for Zhaoshu and says that if he eats this candy, it will make him happy. This was the first time Zhaoshu had such sweet support from someone, and he was very grateful. When Sangji attends an open seminar at her campus, Zhaoshu secretly comes to participate. Sangju was so nervous when Zhaoshu kept looking at her that she pretended to be asleep and closed her eyes. Zhaoshu brought his face closer to Sangji's face and poked her cheek. Sangji thinks Zhaoshu kissed her without warning, and Zhaoshu deliberately asked what she did just now. Instead of answering with words, Sangji asked Ju-soo to come closer and kiss him on the cheek. Shilei Sangji says that even though she has done this, she still doesn't want to accept it. Ju-soo continued to tease her for the rest of the class, and after that, the two of them went for a walk around campus. The holidays are coming soon. Sangji decides to stay in Yi and look for an internship to improve her experience. Sang Yan, who knew this, didn't allow it because he was worried that his sister would waste her time dating. Even though Sangji doesn't want to go home because she wants to be with Zhaoshu, she was also serious about improving her experiences by joining an internship program. Sangji prepared a birthday surprise for Zhaoshu at a restaurant. She borrowed the kitchen to make a traditional food called long life noodles. Zhaoshu liked it very much and enjoyed it. Bettany closed his eyes and made a wish. Sangji knows what his wish is and says that it will come true easily. Because now she agreed to date him. They looked at each other and became lost in the romance they had just started. Sangji feels that today is very special because it is Jeogshu's birthday and also their first day together. Zhaoshu explains his family situation to Sangji that he had never told before. Zhaoshu is afraid that the problem he is facing now might make Sangji unhappy. But Sangji denies that she doesn't mind at all. She also promised to always be by Zhaoshu's side. At the end of semester, Sangji starts looking for a place to do an internship. One day, the electricity in Sangji's dormitory went out. Because of this, Zhaoshu invites Sangji to his house and helps her study. Not only that, Zhaoshu also prepared food for Sangji with great care. In return, Sangji washed all the dirty dishes. That evening, Zhaoshu took Sangji home while holding her hand tightly. He feels proud of their relationship. And for the first time, Sangji can say out loud that she really likes Zhaoshu. A simple sentence, but it takes a lot of courage to express it. On that happy night, while talking to Qianfei on the phone, Zhaoshu told him everything. Zhaoshu expresses gratitude because Fei's guidance could help him find true love. Qianfei is very surprised to find out that Zhaoshu is dating Sangji and hurriedly hangs up the call. One certain thing is Qianfei advises Zhaoshi to immediately explain everything to Sang Yan. On the other hand, Zhaoshu's relationship with Sangji is getting closer. They both made time to meet each other in the midst of their busy lives. Not only that, they also care about each other and also tease each other. Sometimes they also feel jealous of each other. And finally, the end of semester holiday arrived. Sangji's parents didn't want their daughter to live in Yi alone. In fact, they helped Sangji find an internship in Nanwu. But Sangji insisted on staying in Yi. Then Sangji receives good news that she passed the interview for an internship at an advertising company on her first day of work. Sangji doesn't know that her department head is Xiaoying's friend. In this situation, Xiaoyu thinks that Sangji is her friend's enemy, so she doesn't treat Sangji well. On the first day of her internship, Sangji was displeased. But she hid that fact from her parents. Unexpectedly, Jiaxu specially brought a bouquet of flowers for Sangji and then invited her to dinner together. As a form of support on her first day of work. As time passed, even though Sangji continued to get pressure from Xiaoyu, she did not give up and tried to do her best at her job. Sangji felt a lot of comfort when she met Zhaoshi. Leaning in Zhaoshu's arms was enough to restore her lost energy. One time, Zhaoshu took Sangji to the office and it looked so intimate. Xiaoyu happened to see this scene as she was passing by. Then she told Xiaoying about it and thought that Sangji snatched Zhaosu from her. This news made Xiaoying unhappy, so she tried to meet Sangji at all costs. When the two of them finally met, Xiaoyang explained Joshu's real situation and said that he is the son of a murderer and has many responsibilities, especially to take care of his father, who is in a coma with expensive medical costs every year. He also claims that Joshu didn't get enough love because of his family, so he will easily interpret people's kindness as love. Shou Ying thinks that Sang Ji will stay away from Joshu after hearing this fact, but she is totally wrong. Sang Ji has known Joshu many years ago, and during that time, she has developed her feelings for him. Her love is not temporary attraction, but it's a feeling of affection and readiness to accept all of his shortcomings. Apart from that, Sang Ji believes that Joshu has nothing to do with the death of Xiaoying's father, and there is no reason to blame him. Sang Ji understands Xiaoying's feelings, and because of that, she doesn't judge her. Sang Ji hopes that Xiaoying will soon realize that she's on the wrong path. When she met Joshu, Sang Ji didn't tell him what happened. She took the bread for Joshu and then gave him a bank card of her savings. Sang Ji said that as a good girlfriend, she wanted to do the best for her boyfriend. Actually, Joshu didn't refuse it, but he gave it back to Sang Ji and asked her to buy everything she wanted. Then both of them agreed not to use the money carelessly, and Sang Ji was mature enough to think about buying a house together in the future. On one occasion, Joshi took Sang Ji home after she worked overtime. Suddenly, Sang Ji's mother called to ask about her condition, and then Sang Yan called Sang Ji, and he turned out to be secretly following Joshu and Sang Jae. Sang Yan made the atmosphere very tense because it seemed he didn't like this situation. Sang Ji tried to explain carefully before. Finally, Joshu took over and explained their relationship to Sang Yan, who still had a cold face. After taking Sang Ji to her dormitory, Sang Yan asked Joshu to talk in private. Sangza worried, but Jiatsu said that everything will be okay in a quiet place. Sang Yan let go of all the emotions he was holding back and punched Joshu. He continued to hit him several times, and Joshu didn't do any resistance. Sang Yan asked Jack Su, among all the girls, why Joshu should date his sister. But Joshu convinced Sang Yan that he's serious with Sang Jae. In the end, Sang Yan can't say anything, but his heart is still angry. He's just afraid that his sister will get hurt, and that will definitely have an impact on his friendship with Joshu. Sang Yan calmed his emotions and took Joshu away for treatment. On the way, Joshu promised Sang Yan that he would treat Sang Ji well for the rest of his life. Joshu repeatedly said that he's serious with this relationship and they are only 5 years apart. At Joshu's house, Sang Yan didn't say that he approved their relationship and only warned Joshu about the consequences that he would get if his sister was hurt. The next day, Joshu wore a mask to hide his wound from Sang Jae, but he still cannot hide it. Sang Ji knew that this was her brother's doing, so she angrily came to him at a cafe. Joshu persuades Ji to talk with her brother. They were mad at each other, but then made up awkwardly. However, Sang Yan did all this because he cared about his sister, but he couldn't show it in a gentle way. After that, Joshu went to his company, and Sang Yan insisted on accompanying him to work at the office. On that unexpected day, Sang Yan revealed that he was very worried about his sister's relationship. But on the other hand, he felt relieved knowing that Sang Ji's boyfriend was Joshu, and he knew about Joshu's character and personality well. On the next day, Sang Yan went home because he had to manage his bar. Zhao Shu accidentally got words from someone who saw Xiaoyang speak with Sang Jia. Then Joshu immediately met Xiaoyang with a warning letter from the police. Joshu warned Xiaoying, if she meets his girlfriend again, then he will bring this case into legal action. Joshu will not never let anyone hurt Sang Ji and will do anything for her at the office. Sang Ji has the courage to put forward her own ideas at a meeting, even though Xiao Yu didn't agree. The leader really liked Sang Ji's ideas and asked the team to consider it. Because of that, Xiao Yu hated Sang Ji more and more. She felt she had been humiliated at the meeting and accuses Sang Ji of stealing someone's boyfriend. But Sang Ji never tells Joshu about it as long as she can handle it herself. She doesn't want to burden her boyfriend, who is already very busy working. Joshu realizes that, but he also wants to be a reliable boyfriend and asks Sang Ji to share her problems if it feels very hard. Joshu rented a house with 2 bedrooms near Sang Ji's campus so he can meet Sang Ji more often. However, he bought the house not to live together with Sang Jae. If Sang Ji feels tired, he thinks that this house can be a place to rest for her. Joshu, handing over the key to Sang Ji and showing that this house will be hers in the future. Coincidentally, not long after that, the aircon in Sang Ji's place broke down, so she was forced to stay at Shu's house for a while. A lot of sweet things happen between them while they're living together, and the most important thing is that they know each other's limits. Joshu's project made great progress. After staying up all night and working overtime this year, The game he developed with his team was finally launched and got a lot of positive response. Meanwhile, on her last day of internship, Sang-ji specially gave a farewell gift to Xiao Yu and stated that she did not steal anyone's boyfriend. She also advised Xiao Yu to accompany Xiaoying to go to a psychiatrist who could help her, and Xiao Yu will find out what was really going on. After college started, Sang-ji planned to participate in a university design competition. And during the national holiday, she went home to Nanwu because her parents really missed her. At her house, Sang-ji's mother overheard her daughter calling someone intimately and not realizing that it was Ja Soo. Sang-ji's father was very worried and immediately asked about their relationship. But Sang-ji was afraid to admit it and worried that her parents might be against her relationship with Ja Soo. Therefore, Sang-ji avoided this conversation. On one occasion, Sang-ji joined a dinner party with Sang-yan and his friends, and that means she will meet Jiao Soo. At that party, Ja Soo reveals his relationship with Sang-ji. Then another news comes from Jian Fei, who will soon be a father. Everyone congratulates him and has fun. While Sang-yan spent the rest of his time at the party, Ja Soo took Sang-ji home and the two of them looked so perfect. But Sang-ji's mother saw that, so she immediately asked her daughter about the relationship, even though she knew that Ja Soo was a good person, but his family background was the main problem and made her worry. Then Ja Soo planned to meet Sang-ji's parents. However, Sang-ji's father asked Ja Soo first to have a private meeting when Sang-ji wasn't at home. When they met, Sang-ji's father explained everything to Ja Soo carefully. Actually, he was afraid that his daughter would be dragged into Ja Soo and Xiaoying's family problems, which might have an impact on Jai. So Sang-ji's father just wanted to convey his concerns as a parent because he wants the best for his daughter and hopes that Ja Soo can seriously consider their future. When Sang-ji returns home, she finally finds out that her parents have spoken to Ja Soo. They want Sang-ji to rethink her relationship and advise her to break up. Sang-ji is silent, realizing that Ja Soo's family background is the main problem. Why her parents are against their relationship, and she feels sad for Ja Soo because family is not something he can choose. Ja Soo's feelings became complicated after his meeting with Sang-ji's father. Worried that Ja Soo would be depressed, Sang-ji called him in hopes that he wouldn't be sad. Ja Soo's eyes reddened and asked Sang-ji to spend her time with her parents. While he was going back to Yi to meet a client, Sang-ji is afraid that her relationship with Ja Soo will end, so she took a big step to follow him. She understands her parents' concerns, but she is an adult now and very sure of what she wants. After getting off the plane, Ja Soo immediately picked Sang-ji up at the airport. At that time, Sang-ji told Ja Soo that when she was in high school, she never looked for an online boyfriend. At that time, she came to the airport to meet Ja Soo after getting the news that he had a boyfriend. Then she explained why she kept ignoring Ja Soo's messages until she went to college. Sang-ji showed her written hopes about how she liked Ja Soo by confessing all her secrets. Sang-ji hopes that Ja Soo believes that she really loves him, so he doesn't need to listen to what people say about their relationship. Sang-ji thinks that Ja Soo is considering breaking up with her. But actually, Ja Soo is thinking about what they should do in the future so they can be together forever. As for Sang-ji's parents' concerns, Ja Soo was looking for the right time to explain to them. Ja Soo took a big step in his life. He resigned from the company and returned to Nanwu to start his own company. Then he got a call from the hospital regarding his father's condition getting worse. Ja Soo didn't know what to say to his father. He only regretted his father's actions and told him what had happened to their family all this time. Maybe Ja Soo's life would be much better if his father didn't avoid his responsibility. After going through a lot of trouble, Ja Soo understands what responsibility is, and now he can protect his loved ones. Ja Soo asked his father to rest in peace so he can apologize to Ja Soo's mother and go to heaven. Ja Soo's father moves his finger, and then he passes away. After hearing this news, Sang-ji was very worried about her boyfriend. But Ja Soo said calmly that such a day would happen sooner or later. But still he turned his head and cried in Sang-ji's arms. Since then, he was alone without his father and mother. In his mother's grave, Ja Soo told her that his father had gone and hoped they could live happily there. Sang-ja reveals that Ja Soo is a good person, and she promises to protect him, to continue to be by his side and love him with all her heart so that he doesn't feel alone. For the sake of their future, Jiatsu has to go back to Nanwu earlier to prepare his own business. Meanwhile, Sang-ji must finish her studies in MI. It felt hard for them to be apart, but it was the best way. Sang-ji was busy participating in design competitions on her campus, while Ju Soo started looking for an office and building his studio. Step by step, after looking for the right time, Ja Soo visited Sang-ji's parents. After having lunch together, Ja Soo had the courage to express his thoughts. Joshu understands their worries as parents, but he also sincerely loves Jae. Joshu said that his future might be different if it's not because Sang-ji is always by his side and helps him get out from his sorrowful past. He said that now he doesn't have many things, but he will use everything he has to make Sang-ji happy. Sang-ji's parents don't care about anything other than their daughter's happiness. And because of Joshu's sincerity, they finally approved their relationship. Sang-yan sincerely hopes that his sister's relationship will go well, and Joshu is very grateful to him for all the support he has given him so far. On the other hand, Sang-ji was very happy after knowing that her parents had given their blessing. Another good news came from Sang-ji's design project that won the award. Shaok Shu Lively told Sang-ji that he was very busy and couldn't accompany her at the award ceremony. In fact, he was present at the event as a senior representative who would present the award to the participants. This surprise made Sang-ji very happy, and she couldn't stop looking at Zhao Su while standing together on the stage. 2 years later, Sang-ji and her friends graduated from college. Everyone came to the beach to celebrate it. On that day, Sang-ji helped with her friend's wedding proposal, who had been dating for a long time. But she didn't realize that it was actually a proposal prepared by Zhao Su for Sang-ji. Joshu also invited Sang-yan and his parents. He had thought about many things and finally chose to surprise Sang-ji in this way. On that happy day, Zhao Su revealed that he had previously thought that it was okay for him to live alone. But after meeting Sang-ji, he realized that loving and being loved is something pleasant. With the blessings of family and friends, Zhao Su knelt down and proposed to Sang-ji with a diamond ring. Sang-ji said yes and everyone cheered for such happiness. After that, Zhao Su told a little secret to Sang-ji, saying that he also secretly liked her. When it snowed and Sang-ji was in her first year of college, that's when Jiat Su fell in love with her. Their love story began when Zhaoshu was 22 years old. Sang-ji hid her feelings and didn't let anyone know. She tried to be better until she finally realized that she was not alone because Joshu also ran towards her for 5 years. Sang-ji healed Joshu's wounds from the past. Joshu met his first love who was still young. And this love story ended happily when Sang-ji was 22 years old. That's all for now. Please like and subscribe for more video and comment below if you know any other couples better than this.